Okay.
Put us on mute or give.
Yes, 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 yes. Great. Okay, and so we begin the practice of yoga. Using your exhale to release into the support beneath you. To become aware of the support of the earth that grounds you. It allows you to feel safe and supported, secure in your foundation. Practice of yoga, bringing the mind, the body, and the spirit back into balance. Becoming aware of the earth beneath you. Becoming aware of the vast sky above you. Becoming aware of the breath that rests between the two. Finding the rhythm of your breath and just witnessing that rhythm. The washing of the inhale over the body and the receding exhale. The cleansing of the breath. Moving from thinking to feeling to knowing. As we start to settle the thoughts, feel the support beneath us. Feel the breath that restores us. And know the wise heart. One breath following the next with just a gentle pause between them. Creating a sanctuary within us so that we can take a step forward. If the world can't give us a sanctuary, we can find it within us, coming to the peace and the wisdom that we know. And we use our yoga practice wisely to move our bodies, to become aware of the issues we store in our tissues and release and soften them. To become aware of the breath and know that it soothes us and brings us back to peace. To step out of the swirling river around us and rest in stillness. In the wisdom that lies within us. And we do it with ahimsa, with nonviolence to ourselves, to others. We do it without lying to ourselves, without stealing the truth that this is the most important moment right here. So we let go of the past We're not jumping into the future, but we rest in the stillness of this moment, the truth that this moment is the most important. To rest in the sanctuary of being kind to ourselves first. Find the sacredness within. And with your next inhale, allow the fingertips to extend overhead or out to the side. To breathe into that opening across the heart space, softening any gripping or tension. And with your next exhale, if the arms are outstretched, the fingertips tap the center of the chest. If they're overhead, they float down to the hips. Just getting some simple movement linked to breath as we inhale, expanding, opening, lengthening fingertip to fingertip. As we exhale there, so release the softening, aware of the breath that guides us and teaches us that we can only do one thing at a time, breathing in and breathing out. And with your next exhale, allow the arms to come to rest onto the earth. Inhale there and exhale, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Maybe rocking, maybe resting in stillness. What is the right thing for you right now? And what do you notice as you start to become aware of the body? Can you soften? And then finding stillness there. With the knees over the hips, as if you were sitting in a chair, and the palms resting on the knees with the fingertips towards the ceiling. They're resting, they're just settling there. The shoulders are settling to rest onto the earth, away from the ears. The breath moves into the heart space. With your inhale, allow the knees to float away from each other. With your exhale, draw them back to center. Inhaling, they move away from you, the arms extend. And with your exhale, they hug in. So moving out to the side, together, away from you, and hugging in. Aware of the breath that's guiding the legs to move in the hip sockets. Aware of any tension, finding the ease in this flow. One breath, one movement. Not rushing, backing out of anything that doesn't feel right. Honoring your body. Nice. And the next time you exhale, let those feet float to the earth. Walk them the width of the mat and allow the knees to fall together. And then find the breath. Move it onto or into the back body to fill the lungs completely. Allowing the body to expand into the earth beneath you. And exhale, soften. Becoming aware of the breath in the back of the heart and the space between the shoulder blades. And allowing it to move all the way to the bottom of the ribs. Not forcing, just allowing. With your next inhale, the knees float over the ankles. With the exhale, they float to the right. With your inhale, up to center. With your exhale, to the left. Inhaling and exhaling, moving from side to side. And maybe you found before I even gave you a cue, you are already ready to bring the knees to one side or the other. You have this memory stored inside you of breath linked to movement. It's there for you whenever you need it throughout the day. Coming to the breath, settling, and then finding the space to move again. Finding stillness with your inhale, walking the feet back to hips distance. With your exhale, the belly button hugs towards the earth and there's a gentle opening to the lower back. With your inhale, hip points rock to the knees, the heart puffs up. There's an opening in the front body. Moving in and out of inhaling and exhaling as you gently rock on the sacrum, pelvic bowl dumping forward and scooping up. Aware of how this gentle rocking echoes throughout the thoracic body. Aware of the breath that guides you. And then finding stillness there. Maybe extending the right leg and allowing the left leg to come to meet it. Inhaling the left arm alongside your ear and walking both arms over to both legs over to the right. Softening that left arm so it meets the earth. Maybe you have to bend the elbow or drop the arm a little lower. And breathing into this space on the left side body. Allowing for a softening and the breath to move freely into that space. And where do the thoughts go when you rest in this stillness? We honor them and gently draw the focus back to watching the breath. Staying in this moment to soften this part of the body. With your inhale, walking the legs back to center, softening that left arm back down to your side. Inhaling maybe the right ear alongside your ear or somewhere in that general direction, and then resting it on the earth, softening there, and then walking both legs over to the left with the hips resting on the floor. No efforting. Gentle opening, allowing the muscles through the left side body to lengthen, allowing the breath to fill that space. Aware of the breath in and the breath out. And with your next inhale, walking the legs back underneath the hips and floating that right arm down. Inhaling and exhaling, drawing the knees in for another hug. Maybe the hands coming back to the thighs. Maybe you rock side to side. And then letting the knees stay up over the hips and the arms to float to the earth with the palms facing down, a little bit away from the hips. Yeah. Part of your foundation, palms of the hands, shoulder blades together under the center of the back and away from the ears. Bellies hugging gently in and up, front ribs towards the earth. Take what you need, let go of the rest. Just aware that the core body supports this pose, allows the spine to be long with all its natural curves in the back of the neck and the lower back. Keeping the head resting on the earth, maybe gently tucking the chin towards the notch in the collarbone. You can find a little more length and softening in the back of the neck. How's the breath? Maybe this is where you're staying. Maybe you're allowing the feet to float to the earth. Maybe you're able to exhale the right knee into the chest and inhale, extend it up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend it as if you were sitting in a chair. Maybe that left foot has come to the earth to enable this to be a little more gentle on your lower back. Exhaling, right knee into the chest. Inhale, extending, reaching it up to the ceiling. Exhale, bent knee. Staying on the right side. Moving with your breath in a way that seems organic for you. What do you notice? What do you feel? Can you move into an easeful link of breath and movement? Letting go of judgments and expectations. And the next time the knee is bent, allow that foot to float to the earth. Take a couple of rounds of breath here. Both feet resting on the earth. Maybe the side's a little different. Exhale, the sacrum roots you to the earth to keep equal weight in both sides of the hips. And that left knee floats over your hip as if you're sitting in a chair. Maybe the right foot stays on the floor. With your next exhale, the knee draws to the chest. With your inhale, we reach up to the ceiling. Exhaling, bending that knee. Maybe pausing before starting again. Find a rhythm that works for you as you link movement with breath. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. Just be aware of the core muscles that keep you resting on the earth without compromising the breath. Inhaling, exhaling, working into the hip joint, the knee, firing up the core, softening through the shoulders and the jaw. Nice. The next time you exhale, allow that left foot to float to the earth. And rolling over onto one side or the other, using your arm as a pillow. Or grabbing a pillow or a blanket to place under your head. If it feels awkward to rest on your shoulder. We're not rounding forward just yet. Trying to keep a neutral spine as much as possible. Let the top arm come to the floor for support so that your shoulders are stacked one on top of each other, so that maybe you can stack the hips a little more easily one on top of the other. See if you can feel that you're not coming forward or back with that top side of your body. The knees are also stacked. And they're bent. And the breath is moving. Smooth and easy. Keeping the big toes touching and the heels touching. With your inhale, the top knee lifts. With your exhale, it floats back down. Inhaling, top knee lifts. Exhaling. Where do you feel this? Outer thigh, hip, inner thigh. Link breath and movement. One more time like this. And then allowing that knee to float on top of the other. And extending both legs straight out and flexing the feet. Now you're on the pinky toe side of that bottom leg. The top arm supports you. The shoulder blades slide away from the ears and together on the back. With your inhale, that top leg lifts. With your exhale, it taps down. Reaching into the heel, flexing into the foot, long leg out of the hip socket. Small movement. Straight out of the hip, not forward or back. Inhaling up, exhaling softly down, slow control, moving with the breath, with intention. Nice. And the next time that leg softens down, find stillness there. And then rolling over onto your back and onto the opposite side as you bend the knees to have stacked hips and stacked shoulders. Maybe this side you have to adjust the pillow or arm under your head. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked as much as possible. Top arm supports you. With your inhale, the big toe and heel stay touching and just the knee lifts. Exhale, soften down. Moving with attention, paying attention to the breath, initiating the movement. Staying in the present moment without judging this side. Meeting your body wherever it is today. Using wise effort so that the hips stay stacked. And you're isolating the movement to the leg in the hip socket. Nice. And the next time the knees come to touch, find stillness there. Extending both legs straight back. Maybe the bottom leg has to be bent a little so that you don't wobble side to forward and back. So remember, I only offer suggestions, and then you get to find an easeful way to be in the pose. With your inhale, flexing the foot and extending up to the ceiling, the pinky toe side reaches up. As you reach into the big toe, keeping the length in the leg. What do you notice? Finding the breath, finding ease, softening the thoughts. And the next time that leg comes down, find stillness. Knees bent towards the chest, finding the rounded spine now. Allowing the shoulders to shift a little forward, maybe the forehead towards the knees without closing off the throat, and allowing the breath to move into the back body, resting in this stillness. How are you being in the pose, in this stillness? Can you come back to this breath and then the next? Aware of the body, accepting the breath, allowing the softening. With your exhale, you're gathering the belly and walking the hands to the earth so that you can press yourself up and draw yourself up and then over onto all fours. Taking the time to pad your knees. Tabletop. Safe, secure, supported with just the right amount of effort. Letting go of any extra efforting so that the breath can move freely. And when you're ready, maybe you start with pelvic tilts. Maybe you're ready to move into your expression of cat and cow. Let the breath guide you. Be curious, as if this were the first time you came into your cat and your cow. Aware of each moment linked with the breath. Finding the ease, the grace, smoothing out the edges. What is your intention for you and this yoga practice today? Maybe you're just coming to it. Maybe 2 more rounds of breath like this, exploring the front and back body. Nice. And after that second round, finding a neutral spine, not being in a hurry to get there. With your exhale, the belly gathers, the hip creases reach back in the direction of the heels and soften as we float. Inhaling, the heart reaches forward, and exhaling, we bow down to the earth, finding child pose. Maybe you find you have to walk your knees a little wide on the mat to rest easily in this pose. What part of the pose is a challenge for you? Can you move the breath there to soften? Can you allow yourself to meet your body wherever it is today? One more round of breath, filling the heart space, and then softening with the exhale. Coming back up onto all fours and taking some hip circles here. So let the arms extend as the hips slide back and they roll to the side. Maybe forward, opening up the hip creases. Maybe finding one side's a little different than the other. Did you start in the same direction that you always do? We're just noticing, not judging the habits of the mind and the body. And then reversing. Some of them are neutral. Some of them need to be changed as we become aware of the habits of the mind. We get rid of the things that don't suit us, make some changes. I'm reversing the circles. I haven't already. Did I say that already? And then finding a neutral tabletop. Walking the hands forward, one handprint. And finding that connection to the earth. Rooting down to activate the arms and the muscles around the shoulder girdle without blocking the elbows. Gazing to that space between the thumbs. Maybe you're staying right here. The core is engaged, keeping you from falling to the earth. The arms support you. The breath is smooth. Maybe you walk the knees back a little bit more. This is more of a challenge. Kind of like a baby plank. Maybe you're curious and you curl the toes under, root into the earth, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, belly, front ribs, hug in and up. Inhale, extend into the heels. Plank pose. Nothing else moves. The knees just lift off the earth and you reach into the heels, straight legs, active legs. Exhale, knees come back down to the earth. Bring yourself up over those knees. Roll through the shoulders. Big circles. Let them soften down the back. Interlace the fingers to the webbing and then reverse it into the awkward way. And roll through the wrist. Or soft fists and rolling through the wrist. And then reversing those circles. And then coming to stillness there. Inhaling, extending the arms out in T. Exhaling, left arm under right. Give yourself a hug. Drop the shoulders down the back. Extend the elbows a little forward. Feel that opening. Inhale, extending through the fingertips again. Right arm under left. Gentle hug. Extend, reach the elbows forward. Breathe into that space. Nice. Last inhale, reaching through the fingers and float those arms down. Roll through the shoulders. Big circles. Let the palms of the hands come to the lower back. Maybe it feels better for you to make a fist and rest the knuckles on the lower back, the hips, the top of the hips really, top of the sacrum. Draw the shoulder blades together, the elbows together. Nice broad opening across the collarbones. Soften there. Nice. With your next inhale, the ribs lift out of the hips. You grow longer and taller. Maybe this is where you stay. Keeping the hips right over the knees. Back bend comes from the shoulder blades underneath the heart space, the ribs fanning, open, and the heart lifting towards the ceiling. Soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone. Hips stay right where they are with a gentle curve in the lower back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, heart to ceiling. Soften the back of the neck if that doesn't work for you. It's the core body that lifts you and opens you, that supports you back out of anything that doesn't feel good. The back bend happens as soon as the shoulders come in back of the hips. You don't have to go very far. Breathe into the front body. Inhale, come all the way up to neutral spine. Exhale, sit back on the heels so that you can walk the knees wide, bring the big toes together, and slowly bow towards the earth, keeping that extension in the front body. Heart reaches away from the belly to find the third eye resting on something. Stacked hands, earth block. Or maybe you're in an active child pose and you like to walk the hands forward, arms forward, but they're still in the shoulder sockets. What's in your practice? Maybe you try something different. And still the breath is smooth. You notice how you are in the pose. Can you come back to this moment and this breath? Yes. Exhale there and inhale back up onto all fours. And maybe you know that your wrists are cranky or your shoulders, and it's easier for you to come down onto forearms, with the shoulder blades sliding away from the ears and rooting into the earth from forearms. Maybe you're fine with palms of the hands and straight arms. Like taking fire hydrant, right? So where does your mind-body connection go when I say fire hydrant? Flexing the left foot, let go of any expectations or judgments, flexing the left foot. With your inhale, that knee comes straight off the hip. With your exhale, it hugs back to the right. Inhale straight off the hip. It's a small movement, not back, but out to the side. So fire hydrant, think dog lifting its leg out to the side and back together. Working the outer hips, the outer thighs out to the side together. Trying to keep a neutral spine, both hips facing the floor, so it's core work. One more time like this, and then let that knee come to the floor. Do what you need to do to let that go. And then set yourself up for an easeful flow. Find your foundation, the support that you need from the front body, long spine, soft back in the neck, flexing the right foot and inhaling that right knee straight out to the side. Exhale, it hugs to the center. Inhaling out to the side, small movement, because it's just the leg moving in the hip socket. Eventually that bone stops. The ball and socket, right, can only just rotate just so far. We're not forcing anything. We're just meeting our bodies wherever we are. Open throat, long spine. Only thing that's moving is leg and hip socket. Bring that back down to the earth. Come back up over your knees. Stand up on your knees. Yes. Inhale the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, let them drop. Big inhale. Exhale, soften. Nice. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. Let me see the time. Okay. Let's come to face the side of the mat. Long side of the mat. I'm hoping, because I didn't say it, that you have a block, a bed, something near you that you can use as support. A book, not a pillow. Something a little bit more firm. Soften the shoulders up, back, and down. We will be practicing at home for a while, or I will be doing Zoom classes. Even if we go back to Bates, I might still do a Zoom class. So investing in blocks might be a thing. The block is going on the right side so that we can extend that left leg straight out so that the toes face the long side of the mat. So the pinky toe side of the foot is parallel with the short side of the mat. Nice. And you inhale and grow longer and soften the shoulder blades down the back. That block is there for you to place the right hand on so that we can inhale and circle that left arm. Am I doing this right? Yes. Left arm alongside your ear for a nice long side body. Aware of the sternum extending away from the belly, lengthening through the front body, softening that right shoulder down the back, breathing into the left side body. Nice. With your inhale, bring yourself up and draw that left knee in, and we'll come to the other side. So now the block's on the left side, right next to your hip, a little away from the hip in alignment with the hip. Probably on its highest, yes. So you can bring a hand, a fist, something to the block so that you can extend through that right leg, yes? The foot is pointing, toes pointing to the long side of the mat, pinky toe side, and then adjust, right, to meet your body. I'm still only making suggestions, right? Inhale, heart is long. Both sides of the body are long so that you can reach and extend that arm alongside your ear and breathe into the side body. And only you know where it's easeful for you to be in this pose. How's the breath? Deep breath in, soft breath out. Once. Exhale there. Inhale yourself all the way up so you can slide that knee in. Let that go. We're going to come to stand. So maybe using that block for support so you can step one foot onto the earth, curling the toes under of the other leg to straighten it and step it forward, hips distance. Inhale there, half forward fold. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. Move slowly, mindfully with intention. Nice. Inhale all the way up to stand so we can find our mountain pose, our Tadasana. Find the foundation through the soles of the feet. Root down to lengthen up. Earth supporting you. Vast sky above you. With the wise heart and the breath moving into the wings of the heart. How are you in the pose? Each day is different. Each breath's a little different. Without judging it or expecting anything, just being in the pose in this moment. And with your inhale, both arms float up overhead, reaching through the fingertips. The right elbow bends and the fingertips come between the shoulder blades to the base of the neck. Where do your fingertips land? Let them just be. Bent arm, elbow alongside your ear. And maybe that left hand comes to the elbow or the upper arm. Inhaling there, exhaling, offering it a little deeper, to go deeper. Maybe, maybe not. Soften through the tops of the shoulders. Breathe into this opening. Deep breath in, softening breath out. With your next inhale, that right arm extends, left arm comes to meet it. Left arm, elbow bends, the fingertips land somewhere between the shoulder blades, the base of the neck. And maybe with your inhale, you lengthen. With your exhale, you find space to move a little deeper into the left side body, the left upper arm. Where else do you feel this? Soften with the breath, release the jaw. Are you efforting into the lower back? Did you lose the foundation through the soles of the feet? How is the breath? How are you being in the pose? With your inhale, both arms extend straight up to the ceiling. With your exhale, they float to either side of the body. Inhale, lengthening as you reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive forward, half forward, hold parallel to the earth. Soften there, find length through the back. With your next exhale, maybe you hinge a little closer to the earth. Shoulder blades are together on the center of the back. There's a deep opening across the collarbone, rooting into the feet. Knees are soft. Breath is smooth. With your next exhale, find that foundation, strong legs. Inhale you as you hinge all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center. Inhaling, exhaling, hinging forward, bowing to the earth, soft knees. Inhale there, exhale. Maybe you can straighten into the back of the thighs. Just a little as you breathe into the belly of the muscle, the middle of the back of the thighs, the hamstrings. Still the belly hugs in and up, but the heart reaches away from the belly button, lengthening sternum. Exhale, root into the feet, activate the legs. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center, floating the hands to the hips. Allowing the weight to shift over the right leg to step that left foot back. Nice, find a gazing point and soften that gaze. Root into the foundation. And exhale, soften the hips to the earth. In between the legs, warrior one. Find the breath. Can you find an easeful way to be in the pose so that you connect with the breath in the fullest expression of this pose at this moment? Maybe you extend the arms, find a place to soften through the shoulders, to challenge without efforting, to bring yourself maybe into a new way of being in the pose. Maybe you find with your exhale, the arms can come a little closer to the ears. Soften through the shoulders and the jaw. Root into the feet. Exhale, hinge forward, palms flip, press into the ceiling. Nice. Inhale, hinging up. Smooth out the edges. Keep drawing the bent knee, hip back, reaching the heart forward. And coming up to stand. One more round like this, challenging the heart to stay long away from the belly. Strong back. Nice. Coming all the way up to stand. Softening the arms to float alongside the hips. And then inhaling the palms to the heart center. Just noticing how the palms meet. Can you soften even that? With your exhale, gentle twist to the right. With your inhale, center. Exhaling left. Maybe you're straightening that bent knee without locking it. Maybe you're moving a little deeper into the bent knee. Aware of inhaling and lengthening through the back body to find space for the twist. And the next time you come to center, find stillness and step that back foot forward and shake it out, let it go. And then land in your mountain pose. Notice what you notice, the feeling of the earth beneath the soles of your feet. The space surrounding you. The air on your skin. Just noticing, becoming aware of this breath in this moment. And how it feels to be in the pose. Allowing the weight to shift over the left leg so that you can step that right foot back. Rooting into the foundation so that you can exhale, settle the hips between the legs and still keep that strong foundation and active legs. To inhale, find length and float the arms into extension or not. To draw that bent knee, hip a little back. To keep that back heel rooted. And find the breath. And let go of all the efforting. With your exhale, hinging forward. Keeping a long spine. So you feel a lengthening in the back body. And inhale up, not forcing anything. Exhale. Palms pressing up, shoulder blades sliding together. Inhaling. Linking breath and movement. One breath, one movement. Moving with intention. Maybe one more round like this. Being kind to your body. Mindful of meeting it wherever it is today. And then finding stillness there, floating the arms down. Soften shoulders and bring the palms to float together at the heart center. Thumbs stay resting against the sternum so that you know you're moving from the core body. To inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, gentle twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, opposite direction or not. So you get to decide where you're going today, keeping the hips and the legs relatively still without creating tension in the lower back. To isolate the movement to the waist up, to the muscles that draw you around, that wrap around the ribs. Moving from the heart center. One breath, one movement, and then floating back to stillness Inhaling, the arms float up one more time in this fullest expression. And exhale, float the arms down, step that foot forward, and land in your mountain pose. One breath in, one breath out brings you into the circumference of the heels to explore that rooting to the earth, to become aware of the lengthening through the crown of the head so that you feel the space between the vertebrae. You allow that softening of the shoulders. And you find the breath filling the front and back of the heart space. To breathe into the lower ribs, that space in alignment with the belly button just below the last rib. Can you allow the muscles between the ribs to soften, to allow the lungs to fill completely? Restoring the body with the breath, allowing the thoughts to settle, to focus on the breath. Aware of the firm earth beneath you. Maybe aware of the beating of the wise heart. And the sensation in the palms of the hands. Of the eyes resting and the jaw soft. Allowing the hands to float to the hips. Rooting down. Allowing the weight to shift into the left leg, coming onto the toes of the right. And then rooting into that standing leg. You can feel the quadricep hugging to the femur bone, maybe the kneecap lifting without locking the knee. The gazing point helps to steady you. With the exhale, maybe you flex that right foot, toes lift. Inhale, tap it down. Maybe with your exhale, the knee comes up a little. Exhale, inhale, tap it down. Move with your breath in a way that feels good for you. Knee straight in front of you, off the hip. So we're not in tree pose. But we're balancing strong on that standing leg and long through the back of the body, straight up through the crown of the head with a gazing point. Linking breath with movement, finding an easeful way to be in the pose without judgment or expectation. The next time the toes come to the floor, find stillness there. Slide them in back of you until the hip crease is opened and the knee is right under the hip. Still standing strong on the left leg. Right knee is bent. With your exhale, we flex the right foot and bring the heel to the hip. Inhale, tap it down. Exhale. Maybe you need a wall or a piece of furniture to steady you. Even one finger can make a difference so that you can keep that hip crease open and draw the heel to the hip. Last time, and float it to the earth and shake it out, let it go. Release that standing leg, bend the knee, roll the ankle. Find Tadasana again, reset. Equal weight in both feet. We find balance. Safe, secure, supported. Weight shifts into the opposite leg, the right leg. Bending the left knee, coming onto the ball of the foot. And then find that lengthening through the crown of the head and a gazing point straight in front of you. We're moving from the hip, the leg in the hip socket. Both hips stay parallel to the earth. Exhale, maybe flexing the foot, lifting the toes. Inhale, tap it down. Muscles in that standing leg hug to the bone without locking the knee. Exhaling, maybe the knee lifts. Inhale, tap it down. Maybe this side's a little different than the other. Proprioception happens, right? We're rolling side to side on that right foot. Body's trying to find where it is in space and adjust for it. Lifting through the core helps relieve that pressure. We can root down, lengthen up, isolate the movement, find that gazing point. No judgment, honoring your body, meeting it wherever it is, being easeful, moving with one breath. And then coming to stillness with that foot on the floor, bending that knee or opening up the hip crease so the knee's straight under the hip. You can feel lengthening in that quadricep that we were just working. With your exhale, heel comes to hip, inhale, tap it down. Now all we're doing is isolating the movement to the knee. The leg stays right where it is in the hip socket. Standing strong in that standing on that straight leg, moving with the breath, honoring your body, not forcing anything. Maybe you're resting in stillness and just seeing the movement with the breath. And then resting that foot to come down into your mountain pose. Release into that support. Find the breath. Finding an active Tadasana. Paying attention to the connection to the earth, to the rooting through the soles of the feet, to the lengthening through the crown of the head, the soft shoulders, the easy breath. Let that go, walk the feet a little bit wide and take some hip circles there. Move it around in a way that feels good for you. Reverse the circles if you took circles. Let go of any efforting and tension. And then step it to face the long side of your mat. Feet wide, edges of the feet or pinky toe side of the feet parallel to the mat. Nice. Reaching, extending the arms back. Palms face each other. Draw the shoulder blades to the center of the back so you feel an opening across the collarbone and an active back body. Maybe the arms come together, a little closer together. Maybe you can interlace the fingers, but soften through the elbows. Maybe the hands rest on the hips, but the elbows reach away from you. Find where you can be peaceful in the pose, and the breath can move freely. We're not letting the front ribs pop out forward. We're drawing them back. Nice. Maybe this is where you're staying, just breathing in active shoulder blades, open heart space, rooting into the feet with your exhale. Maybe the knees soften and we hinge forward from the hips. With your inhale, we float up, moving with intention, mindful of the breath that's guiding us. Staying active in the pose without efforting. Maybe the next time you exhale, you rest in stillness parallel to the earth. Soften the back of the neck. Maybe the hands stay resting on the lower back. The elbows reach to the ceiling. Maybe you can reach through the knuckles, still resting on the lower back. Maybe you can lift the arms off the lower back. Maybe not. Find an easeful way to breathe into that long back body. Pit of the belly is gathered to support the lower back. Legs are strong. Maybe you can even find the inner thighs and rotate them to the room in back of you. One more deep breath in. Exhale, gathering the pit of the belly. Reach through the knuckles if they're extended. Draw them back and down to come to stand. Heel, toe, step feet together. Roll through the shoulders. Shake it out. Let it go. Land in your Tadasana and find the breath. Deep breath in, softening breath out. Yep, we have to come back down. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. Exhale, we float forward, bowing to the earth. Inhaling, we find length. Exhaling, we come all the way down and find your tabletop so that you can take a few cat and cows here. So don't rush it, set it up. Maybe there's another pose that would feel better for you right now, or another flow. Nice. Finding a neutral spine and walking yourself all the way down to your belly. And then finding crocodile. Letting the forehead, third eye rest on stacked palms of the hand. And then letting the heels, the legs soften so the heels open away from each other. So the legs just rest naturally in their sockets. Big inhale, exhale, release the shoulders. Maybe the elbows can even walk to a different place to soften a little more. Find the breath filling that space in back of the heart. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then turning your head so you're resting on your right cheek, bringing the arms out into cactus or goddess, and drawing that left knee out to the side. So as if you were in tree pose on your belly. If this is not comfortable, come onto your back. And do tree pose on your back. Breath in, breath out. Extending that leg straight in back of you, turning your head now to your left cheek so you can slide that right knee out to the side. Just noticing maybe this side's different. Maybe you need to adjust a little. How are you being in the pose? How do you rest in the stillness? Can you find the breath again? And then drawing that knee back, rolling over onto your back. However you can get there, slowly, mindfully, with intention. Coming onto your back. Once you're resting on the earth, release into it, and with your exhale, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Rock it from side to side. And maybe you place the hands on the knees and take those circles in the hips again, keeping the sacrum rooted to the earth. And then coming to stillness and floating those feet down with bent knees. With tucking the shoulder blades underneath the heart center, preparing for bridge pose. One final pose. And where do your thoughts go when we say bridge pose? Can you let go of any judgments, to come into it like it's the first time? Tucking the shoulder blades under the heart space, rooting into the soles of the feet, and inhaling, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. And maybe you're rolling in and out, or maybe you're resting in bridge pose, rooting through the shoulders, inner thighs active, rooting through the soles of the feet. Maybe you're resting on a block for a couple of rounds of breath. Breathing into the heart space. That long lengthening of the front body. Soft jaw, long back of the neck. Maybe if you're in the fullest expression of the pose, you're rooting into that left foot and inhaling the right leg straight up to the ceiling. Soft neck, strong pose and standing leg. Exhale, foot comes down, inhale, opposite leg straight up to the ceiling. Keep lifting the hips. Exhale, that foot comes to the earth. If you're resting on a block or the floor, maybe you inhale and both legs extend straight up to the ceiling for a few rounds of breath. How are you being in the pose? How's the breath? Can you soften? Maybe taking the feet a little wider, legs a little wider. Find the breath. With your next exhale, the knees bend and the feet come back down to the earth. Taking any final movement to complete your practice. Maybe you need one more pose. And when you're ready, you're coming to rest in Shavasana. Our final pose. When you're ready to rest into the support of the earth beneath you. To choose stillness, following the breath. Allowing the muscles to soften their grip. Allowing the body to become heavy. Breathing into your natural curves, back of the neck, lower back. Keeping the head resting on the earth, maybe the chin tucks towards the notch in the collarbone. Soften there. Legs can be extended, knees bent, pillows under the back of the knees or under the back of the head, but we want a long spine, a smooth breath, your natural breath, your rhythm. And we're witnessing what the body does all on its own. We're just here to watch. To use that breath as our anchor. Draw us into the body. To move from thinking to feeling to knowing. We have this sanctuary of peace. We've let go of the efforting in the body. So the thoughts can settle and the breath can guide us to feel what we feel. Without attaching, we just honor. Move forward with a little more wisdom. With nonviolence to ourselves, moving from a loving heart. Aware that this moment is important. If we believe this moment is important, then we are lying to ourselves when we attach to the past or look towards the future. So we use the wise heart to settle that. How do we stay in this moment? To step into the river of life, aware of what flows by without getting carried away. Following the breath. Aware of the breath in and the breath out. Where does our choice live? There are some things we can choose and others we can't. We can't choose the flow of the river, but we can choose how we are in that river. Finding the firm earth beneath us, and the vast sky above us, and the wise heart that guides us. We can't choose the weather, but we can choose how we are. What we do, how we feel. We make choices, non-harming, truthful choices. And we find that peace that lives within us, that's always there. And so we practice yoga. We have a physical practice so that we can soften the body and let go of what's stored there. And we have a mental emotional practice so that we can tap into that peace that rests in our hearts. We can choose to be happy, to find the joy in the moment. We can find the breath. And move one step at a time. With awareness and a loving heart. Starting with ourselves. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I find peace and walk through the world with ease. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. As you gently deepen your inhales and exhales. Slowly, gently bringing your body back from stillness with small movements. And with an inhale, maybe you reach through the fingertips. And with your exhale, you soften the arms to a comfortable position and bend the knees to step one foot and then the other softly onto the earth. Transitioning here, feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Ready to embrace the day ahead of you. In balance with the mind, the body, and the spirit. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Finding the breath, filling the front and back of the heart space. And maybe you had an intention earlier in your practice, and just repeating that softly to yourself, or forming a new one to step forward off your mat and into your life. Knowing that the breath is always there to bring you back to this peace, to this moment. Resisting the urge to open your eyes, pressing the earth away and drawing yourself up to a comfortable, easy seated position. And maybe with your inhale, your arms extend. And with your exhale, you float the palms to meet and rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads, honoring the practice with the intention that our practice be continuous, that our hearts be steady, and that our efforts be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May they find their freedom. May they know peace. And may they walk through the world with ease. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. Let's see.
Namaste. Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome. Oops.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy your day, everybody.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I
coming.
haven't done fire hydrant in a long time.
I know, right? That's why.
It felt
It's
good
been a
though.
while, right?
Have a great day.
Thank you, Jean.
Just wonderful.
Thanks, Chuck. I miss everybody. Yeah.
We're together.
Yep, we are together. Think
Yeah.
of you often. Yep. Enjoy your day.
God bless.
Thank you.
You too.